Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. This is my shocking, okay? My return to a review I have not done in years, okay? Basketball Wise, Season 12, Episode 1, my review, okay? But look, I have not reviewed this show for a while, okay? But I said, look, get back into shows that you can fuss people out and get your energy out. So that's what this is. Okay. Look, make sure that y'all already like the video, subscribe to my channel. Okay, comments in the comment section. Okay, there's other content on my channel as well. So do not forget to go watch the other videos and whatnot because it's always a good time around here. Now look, I don't even remember. Hi. I don't even remember the last time I reviewed Basketball Wives. I feel like it was back when Tammy was on the show. Girl, I don't even know these people. But I said, it's not many shows on, and I can fuss all of them out real fast, and that's what we going to do. Okay. I do like my thumbnail. Okay. We have new people, new marriages, old beefs, and y'all look, no friends, only foes. Okay, it's the basketball ex-wife club round here. Okay, Evelyn still being messy and evil. She's an enemy. Jen is a fool for a scammer. But Jen been a fool for a while, okay? Jackie's still wacky, and Brandy, you still a puppet? Girl, stop letting people use you, okay? Don't let them use you. Use what you got to get what you want, and what you should want is not to be a puppet in 2025, okay? Look, we have Jackie, Evelyn, Jen, and Brandy. To me, those are the quote unquote OGs. Those are the women that I remember. I was so happy to see Jackie with a new wig on. Like this one confession of Jackie's, she looked cute. Okay, they had a few, but I didn't get a whole bunch of pictures or whatever. I'm like, let's just show who's around here. Evelyn still trying to be young. Okay, she's a grandmama now. I don't know why Jen outfit looked like it's a back brace holder upper or whatever, but I digress. Okay, Brandy titties look great. I like her wig too. Okay. We then have what's that? Brittany Renner. We have the Mean Lee girl, and then Jackie's daughter, the one that she claim, Crystal. Is it Crystal? I think it's Crystal. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Um, Mean Lee face is real surgical. Because when they show old like pictures of her, I'm like, that ain't how she was born. And y'all know my rule. I will only speak on someone's looks if they've had them surgically changed. Okay. And I said, mean, your face look different, ma'am. And I think she's from Detroit. I think I had heard that before. I don't know if it's true. But yeah. So y'all, let's get to it. Okay. Look, I would not be on camera much because I didn't feel like talking. First things first, okay? We see Jen round here with her husband. They have got Jen and the felon, okay? Jen and the felon round here feloning together, okay? So the episode starts off with Jen, like, all I wanted was to be a wife. I'm so happy to be a wife. I'm a wife. Here my ring. It's a thousand carats. I got my man, which to me means that man giving her good penis. You know what I'm saying? Jen ain't had good penis in a while because Jen was messing with crazy people and it was not a good thing. And then this man gave her some good penis and then proposed or whatever. Who paid for the ring? Was it her or was it him? I don't know. But I just wanted to be a wife, and I am not happy with my felon husband, Christian. And Christian, they're like, Christian, what happened with you, child? Because we see, the ladies of the show did not go to Jen's wedding, okay? Because they didn't want to go be around no scammer. So last season, it was all about, girl, don't be with him. We don't know him. We don't trust him. You should not be with him. And y'all know what happens. Anytime you was getting good penis from some man and your friends like, girl, don't be with him. Girl, leave him. Sometimes people will stay with the penis. And Jen did what? Jen stayed with the penis, okay? Married the penis, let the penis move in her house, and all of that. Now, we know Christian had to go to jail for 15 days. because right before their wedding or whatever, because Christian is a felon on probation. Okay, he's a felon on the probation or parole. I don't know, because he had imprisoned his ex. The ex girlfriend was like, he kidnapped and imprisoned me. He wouldn't let me out. I had to jump out a window to escape, or he pushed me out the window. It was a bunch of messy things or whatever. But again, he on probation. He can't go anywhere without permission. He can't leave the states without permission. And for some dumbass reason, Jen and Christian decided to have a wedding in Paris. Okay, why would you do that when your fiance need permission to leave the state? Okay. So he then, because he said, I was asking my PO, I was talking to my PO, y'all. I kept trying to reach out and trying to get permission. Okay. I kept trying to get permission. I didn't get the permission. So I said, well, fuck it. I'm going to go to Paris, okay, to plan my wedding. And he then said, girl, not only were they dumb enough to go over to Paris, over the France, okay, to plan this wedding. They posted about it on social media as if she is not a public figure and he ain't a man on probation. Now, I don't know who more dumb, her or him, okay? Even if I love a felon, okay, even if I am confused enough to be stigmatized by a felon, I am smart enough to know if we leave the state, girl, they light fireworks, y'all. They get warm outside and they start playing fireworks. So if y'all hear a boom, 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 they're not shooting. They're lighting fireworks up in the air at 1:30 in the morning. Anyway, girl, I can't do that. But anyway, I would not be dumb enough to post pictures of me and my felon out of the state, let alone out the country. That was just stupid. So because they posted about them being in Paris and he did not have permission to leave the state, let alone the country, child, he said somebody sent the picture to the jail, to the courts. And I said, why wouldn't they? They don't like you. It probably was Evelyn. It probably was Evelyn. Okay, Evelyn probably said, "Let me send this to the court, and then maybe Jen will wise up." Okay, and he said, "Well, I didn't know someone would do that, and now I have to go to jail for 15 days." So he had to do 2 days before their wedding. The judge can let them get married, and he has to now do the remaining 13 days, in Atlanta County Jail. And then I was like, "Girl." You picked them, right? No honeymoon, child, just jail. Just jail. So she went and he went to turn himself in or whatever, and then she had to go to LA. I said, child, let that be. Now, we then see Jackie. Okay, Jackie back being wacky. Okay, Jackie daughter Chantel is Chantel. Well, I call her Crystal. Her name's Chantel. Girl, Crystal Chantel is with a C. Anyway, Chantel has now moved to LA. Now we seen Chantel years ago on the show, and now they want to put her on here again or whatever. She now has 2 children, her 8-year-old daughter. Now the 8-year-old daughter is by somebody else. And the daddy said, my kid can't be on the show. Smart daddy. Okay. But she's also just recently married an NBA ball player named, I don't know what his name is, but he played for the Charlotte Hornets. And she, we got a 1-year-old son, and that baby can be on TV. My daughter can't. So she said, I moved to LA because I want my child, my son, to be a baby model. Mm-hmm. I think my son can be a baby model. And I said, let him be a baby model because that's what I want. Because I was a child model, I was a baby model and actress. And I said, were you? I mean, like for real, for real. Anyway, so I know. I said, if you say so. So she also brings up how she moved into a place that's in the same building as her mom. Okay, now Jackie is the only. Well, Jackie is the only married basketball wife that's still with her husband. Okay. Her daughter is now a newly minted basketball wife. And I mean, I guess congratulations or whatever, but whatever. I don't care. And her husband, y'all know Doug is now the lead head coach for the Sacramento Kings. So she's a real life basketball coaching head coach wife. Okay. She is the top of the top or whatever. So the daughter, now y'all know. Don't Jackie have a dark skinned daughter who said that she don't like the daughter? No, didn't the daughter say Jackie don't like me because I'm dark skinned? And now we see Jackie with the light skinned daughter. I'm leave that be. But again, the light skinned daughter, Chantel said, me and my mom don't have the best relationship, but I did move into the same building as her. She can help with the kids when I'm back and forth in it between here and I guess in Charlotte or wherever the daughter is living. And so she can be here, whatever. She can help me out my kids, but I don't want mama. You can't come down here this all time of day, all time of the night. Okay, boundaries, mama. Okay, because we don't have the best relationship. And I said, I guess so. Chantel here for a check. Like they all are, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel like, girl, baby modeling. Anyway, we then see little Evelyn. Okay, I still call her Evelyn because she gets on my nerves. I have, look, oh no, I haven't watched Basketball Wives since OG was off the show. When they did all that foolishness to OG, that's when I stopped watching. So whatever season OG was on here, because Ocho Cinco wanted me, Ocho wanted me. Oh, that was my last time watching. But Evelyn around here meeting up with Jackie or whatever, they want to, what I'm saying, oh, we both grandmamas now, because Evelyn, like, I can't believe, I don't know how I am the gang's baby's grandmama because your daughter fuck rappers. You don't know how your daughter had a baby by the game. She banged him with no condom. Girl, look, don't act like you don't know. The same way you got pregnant by the men's in the sports arena, she likes rappers. Okay, so yeah, Evelyn Daughters has a baby by rapper The Game. The Game just had to sell his house to pay a lawsuit. So who knows? Anyway, they sit on here chit chatting or whatever. Oh, let's buy some clothes for my grandson. And you got a grandson, and we both grandmamas, and blah 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 blah. That can then brings up, I want to have a friendsgiving. I want to have a friendsgiving to introduce, the ladies to my daughter because they don't know her daughter, which is fine. Okay, so but I also want to invite Jen. Is that okay? Evelyn, who has been very vocal about not liking Jen's husband. Okay, scamming Christian. Okay, felon Christian, probation, parole Christian. Okay, and so I ain't talked to Jen, or whatever. I mean, we had the whole reunion thing that happened or whatever, and I ain't talked to her, okay? She married that man or whatever, and I feel like he's a scammer or whatever, and I don't be bothered. She won't listen to me or whatever. She won't talk to me and blah, 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 blah. Now, I said fine, but I'm gonna go. It's fine, fine, fine. Now, when Evelyn, we see her in a bit of a different scene, and she's on a video FaceTime, child, on a video FaceTime with supposedly child, her baby daddy Carl's sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy's nephew's auntie. Okay. And that lady said that Christian scammed her out of $1,500. I said, girl, so your baby daddy's sister-in-law, baby cousin, nephew, auntie said that Christian was a day trader, a day trader. I don't know, he trades stocks or whatever. And I saw Christian and Jennifer on social media, okay, and I reached out to him because he was like he do trading. I'm like, what? First of all, it sounds like a scam, okay? And I reached out to him, right, and he told me to buy some Bitcoin on Cash App, okay? And it was a $1,500 lifetime membership introduction non-refundable fee, and I had to buy the Bitcoin on Cash App myself. And I did that. And then I put in the $1,500 or whatever. And I ain't heard him since. He ain't seen no money. I got to contact him. I ain't heard from him. And blah, 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 blah. I said, first of all, I'm not paying anyone $1,500 for a lifetime investment in nothing where they can tell me if I don't go to your office, okay, if I can't see the degrees on the wall, if I can't look you up on the Better Business Bureau website, if there's no taxable you got a tax ID for me to see you are an actual something. Who goes and contacts somebody on social media, and then they say go to anyone who tell me go on Cash App, I'm like, nope, no, okay, mm-mm. But when someone talk, but again, scheming, scamming, because some people don't know. If you don't know about trading stocks and bonds and all that stuff, it'll sound like, oh, I just don't know. Cash App is the entry fee into the lifestyle of the rich and famous. So I went because he said go on Cash App, and he said go on Cash App and do the $1,500. Okay, and then I'm gonna do everything else after you pay $1,500. I said, child, but she not see Wolf of Wall Street when that white man Leo DiCaprio called the man and said, hey, I got penny stocks. You want to spend 4,000? And I sure do. Scheme and scam. Okay, anyway, Evelyn say my baby daddy, sister-in-law's cousin, nephew, baby daddy, auntie said, she can't contact Christian and he won't give her money back. So Evelyn is now playing Barney Fife, okay, playing Matlock, okay, playing Gilligan's Island, trying to find the lady money. I said, girl, stop. So girl, Evelyn, what do you have? Look, Jean at least has a scheming husband, a scamming husband, jail stuff to discuss. What she has stuff to discuss. Evelyn, you talking about your baby daddies, sister-in-law's cousins, nephew, auntie, and blocky blocky blue. Girl, get out my face. Okay. Next up, we see Jen and Brandy. Now, Brandy, why are you still being a puppet? you, you're not on your own 2 feet. It is not, okay? So Brandy meets up with Jen. And Jen said, yeah, me and Brandy cool now, whatever. And because she's not a judgmental person, of course she not. Her husband's a cheater. Jen, pick your friends wisely. You don't do that well. The fact is, now Brandy Maxill and her husband, because they still married and they're separated, but Brandy Maxill has had a cheating husband forever. Okay. So I feel like she's not going to be too judgmental because anyone will say, girl, your husband ain't shit. So don't discuss my husband. So she's not going to comment on your husband's stuff because her husband ain't better. Okay. So that's why she's not judgmental to you. Anyway, but again, they're separated, but they're always separate. Girl, Jen and what's his name? Brandy, and what's her husband's name? What's girl? I don't know what I forgot. Husband, okay, but again, they're always separated. I'm not with him right now. We're on the outs right now. I don't trust him right now. It's all about me right now. Girl, get a divorce. But again, maybe she's with him because it's cheaper or more financially beneficial to be his wife than to be his ex-wife. And I think that's smart too. Anyway, they talking, okay, sitting around there together in the sunshine and sunglasses or whatever. And Jen, like, Christian is in jail right now. It's been so hard for me. It's 14 days. That's not that long. He's in county jail. Cause he down the street. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but I get it. It's your man, your man, your man. He gone. You miss him. But Jen, like, he's in jail. It's been hard for me. My mama died or whatever. It's been so great to have his family, his mom and them here for me. They came to the house and stuff. And what was it? His mama? Maybe it was an auntie. I don't know. His family came to her house and stayed there so to help console her because Christian is in prison because not prison, he's in jail because of his dumbass decision. Okay, and this just makes me so, it makes me feel so teary eyed because I don't have no mama, and to have the support of his family, girl, to have the support of that man's mama, auntie, cousin, and sister-in-law. To have them at my house for a day or two. I know he come home next week. I know, but to just have them there for me, it touched my heart. I said, girl, okay. So she was happy. Okay. Bring like, oh, it's okay. Are you okay? I know it's hard when your husband has his antics in the news and it makes you look foolish because I have a cheating husband. I know all the foolishness of my Brandon. Is it Brandon Maxie? I think it is. No, her name Brandy. What's his name? Why, how do I say that name? I'm going to Google it. Hold on. Brandy Maxiel. What's her husband's name? Jason. Jason Maxiel. So Brandy was like, I know it's, are you okay? Like, are you really okay? Because when Jason was in the news, child, making me look foolish, I know how hard it was for me. So are you okay? And Jesus, I am very happy. I am in love. My man, girl, I'm good, okay? So they shit and chatting, okay? They then bring up Jackie wants to have this Friendsgiving or whatever. And Jen say, I'm not talking to Evelyn. She called me in the past for all other bullshit. Why could she not call me to tell me her issues about me and my man? Because at the reunion, they played audio Jen of Evelyn talking cats funny shit about her. And so Jen is upset you know. So Brandy said, I talked to Evelyn, you know what I'm saying? And she did tell me about it. She told me that you not speaking to her. Now I know what y'all may be thinking. Wasn't Brandy beefing with Evelyn? Yep. Mm-hmm. But Brandy said, you know what? When Jen and Evelyn was beefing, they wasn't friends anymore. It was a hard time for Evelyn. So me and her made up. She apologized for all the mean things she said to me because now she need me and I need her. We need to film scenes together. So she said sorry, and now we be checking in on each other. We are friends. Okay, and I care for her or whatever, and so yeah, we need to check, okay. But again, Brand, like we talk, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy that you are not talking to her, girl. We all worried about you. She said, for what? Why are y'all worried about me? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I see you. You Team Evelyn. Keep your Team Evelyn jersey on, bitch. Well, she didn't say bitch, I added that. But she said, no, I'm not Team Evelyn. I'm Team both of y'all. I'm Team Friend. I'm Team Even Kill. I'm a puppet. I'm Team who gonna film with me. I'm team who gonna help me get my check. Um, because for what? Now Jen acting like she don't know why folks are worried because you did marry a man who a lot of people think is a scammer. Okay, so I mean they just worry a little bit. Okay, so then after Brandy met up with Jen, child, she went up and met up with Evan. Why? Because she's the puppet, no, not the master. She's being puppeted. They're using her as a go between Evelyn and Jen. You know what I'm saying? She's because she got a bone collector. She's a medium. She's in between them two. She's in the middle of the medium. Okay. So Brandy tells Evelyn, girl, I talked to Jen. You know what I'm saying? And I told her how you felt and whatnot. Okay. And she felt like you could have came and talked to her if you had issues. And Evelyn, what girl, if I would have did that, we would have still been in the same thing. She was still doing that man or whatever. If I would have talked to her, nothing would have been different. How you know? But again, Evelyn is still mean and evil. Evelyn is like Viper. Okay, she's a snake, and I don't care what no one said. You can't trust that bitch. Okay, but then Evelyn does what she brings up. Girl, guess what? Not only with me and Jen be in the same place, I found out, okay, that her man, her Christian, her husband skinned my baby daddy, Carl, sister-in-law's baby cousin's nephew, auntie out of $1,500. Okay, and they like, we need the money back, girl. So I'm gonna find, I'm gonna wonder and figure out what happened at Friendsgiving. I said fine. We had two quick scenes. We had Brittany Renner who's back around here. Now I only know Brittany Renner from when she had that baby with that PJ Washington guy, and I think it was back in 2021, I believe, because I think I looked it up. I know now she's 33 and he 26, and they had a baby like 3 years ago. So he was around 22, she was around 29, 30, whatever. So it was a big thing because of how she was older than him, he was younger, and they have a baby together. and stuff. And I think he married somebody else since then and had a baby with them too. I don't anyway. But I remember her from that. And she's now currently allegedly married to Kevin Gates. So I feel like Brittany Renner sitting around here in her hijab, her traditional Muslim garb, and I'm only girl. You know, I don't know what you ain't fooling me. Not Satan never. She met up with Jackie. Okay, I want to be a more peaceful person. So I don't want to be this wild child, this sexually free woman y'all have known me to be or whatever. I was having a hard time, but I prayed and prayed and prayed. And since I've been talking to the Muslim side of my face, I have been better off. Okay, and whatnot. Sure, I guess so. So she also brings up her. She had to cut ties with her mom. Her mom was like stealing money, and it's hard to not have any connection to somebody who birthed you. I said, girl, I cannot imagine. Okay, I cannot imagine having a shitty mom because my mom is so great. It was just so I feel so bad for her. So Jackie again does what? Invites Brittany to Friendsgiving, and then Brittany said, "Girl, I have an issue with Evelyn because during after the show aired or whatever, or maybe while it was airing, she said Evelyn was doing interviews and she felt like Evelyn was like shitting on her, and we see she because Evelyn called her unprofessional, like she was unprofessional, maybe like being late, not showing up. So she's upset because I thought I was cool with her. So why would she say those mean things about me? I'm like, were you late? Were you a professional? Like, is it truth to it? Because you can't be upset if you were like a bad employee and she's saying it. You know what I'm saying? But I guess girl, I'm gonna address Evelyn at the Friendsgiving. I'm like, so y'all having a Friendsgiving and y'all are enemies? Okay. Quick scene we had with Ming and Jen. As soon as Jen said, Ming is from Atlanta. I live in Atlanta as well. You know what I'm saying? Like we've never hung out together, but we have mutual friends, so we cool. I said, girl, no. She's just on the I don't like that. Just say, hey, Ming is someone I know, I've heard of. We have mutual friends, and so we want to see if we can hang out together. Don't make it seem like y'all don't have no connection. Okay, you're trying to connect for the show. Anyway, again, mean face girl, surgical. Anyway, me, I am motivated by money. Okay, I moved to LA to expand my businesses and whatnot. I used to be dating Ty Young, who played basketball. We on a break right now. We know Ty is on the season. Mean seems extra. I don't dislike her yet because I don't know enough about her. Her voice remind me of girl Brittany on Brit on Atlanta Housewives. And maybe it's how folks from Atlanta talk. I don't know, or this girl a little nasally or whatever. But Jen invites her to the Friendsgiving as well because I don't want to go by myself. I'm like, again, this is how they're trying to, have a cast scene, and let's have Jackie invite Brittany. Let's have Jen invite Meg, and I guess it's gonna be a friend thing. Now. Anyway, that was that. Now this fake ass center. Jackie has now like rented a house. When you have to rent a house for dinner, girl, you don't want them in your house. I guess so. I wouldn't either. So Jackie said, "I cooked this turkey, and I've never cooked turkey. It's the first time." I said, "Jackie, it's not done. That turkey look light skinned. Okay, it ain't golden or brown at all. Girl, they're gonna die if they eat that." I said, "Girl, where's the chef? It you all you have to do to a turkey is put it in the fucking oven." Girl, I said, what is going on here? So, it was a nice house, but no one lives there. It was an Airbnb rental. We see the conversation between Evelyn and Brittany. To me, this was such a bullshit reason to be pissed. Like Brittany walked in upset as if Evelyn said, "I hate you, bitch," and it wasn't that. Okay, well, I don't like being here with people I don't like, and I'm like, girl, what? How we get here? Brittany to me came in with negative energy because Evelyn was there, and they like Evelyn noticed it. So did Chantel, and so did Jackie. So when Brittany was like, I'm not used to being around people I don't like, and she kind of got up and walked away. And Jackie said, "Girl, we can't do that. Okay, look, I need you to go and address whatever issues you have because we fight on this show. I add that part. But she did say you air out whatever you need to air out. Go talk to her, whatever. Don't just, say something and walk away. Like have a conversation. So she goes back, she talks to Evelyn, and she said, look, I felt like we were cool. I rooted for you or whatever. We didn't have any issues. And then come to find out, was on interviews, talking about me. And she said, what did I say? You called me unprofessional or whatever. You said that I was, late and whatnot and blah, blah, blue. Are you done? She said, see, and now you being rude. She's like, no, no, no. I'm asked because I want to, respond and stuff. And she said, look, when I did my interviews, you weren't a professional. Like you at that point in time, you weren't being a professional. She said at that point in time, you were doing interviews on Revolt, calling us hoes and miserable bitches or whatever. And I was like, well, how I get it? How am I a miserable bitch? I didn't do nothing. Okay. So, but if what I said offended you, I'm sorry. I said, bitch, what? I said, Evelyn said sorry and sounded sincere. Now I know it's like a bullshit because maybe she wants a friend and Brittany or whatever. But I'm like, girl, what? How we get here? Okay, but anyway, they hug it out. It was fine. I said, oh, that was different. With Nancy, everyone gets there. Okay, so we see Chantel is there. We see Ming is there. We see Jen, Brittany. We then see Brandy and saying, and then Evelyn. And the fact that Brittany is looking at Evelyn. And so is Ming Lee because they know it's some weird shit going on in the air and whatnot. Okay, so they sit down, child, at the table that Jackie had made. Okay, with this food that I think may not be edible, but they eat still. Mm-hmm. So Jackie said, y'all, it's a Friendsgiving, and I know ain't none of us here friends. Okay, I know we all here for a check. However, we need to kind of say, first of all, no, Jackie got scissors and was cutting the turkey. I said, girl, it's not done. Who asked you, girl? I said, I would never in my life. Okay. Anyway, but Jackie then said to all the ladies, so we can air things out or whatever, clear the air because we're all friends. Okay. Evelyn, Jen, did y'all have? I said, girl, they look like they want to fight. And the fact that they said, yeah, let's sit them across from each other so that way they can, be like face to face. Okay. So this is my thing. Jen and Evelyn, they're not friends. This is an enemy conversation, in my opinion. Okay. So Evelyn, because they played the audio of what Evelyn said at the reunion. They have not talked since then. And Evelyn, so the audio that they played, that was me talking to the private detective. It wasn't me talking to the girls. I never talked shit about Christian to the girls. That's worse. You talk shit to a stranger, girl. Anyway, so her point was I wasn't bad mouthing you or him on the show, but when I hired a PI, I bad mouthed him to the PI. Jen was like, okay, look, at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff that came out is false. It's not real, and I'm not about to have this be about Christian. Now, look, Jen, you are on a reality show that's supposed to be about wives. You are a wife. Your husband is in jail. He has a history of things. There are rumors about him. You are going to have to talk about him eventually. Now, and with also saying that, I feel like her point maybe was, I'm not about to argue with you, defend with you, have to prove shit about my husband, bitch, to you. Not today. Okay, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but I'm not. This is not about to be a Christian thing at all. And so, but no, no, Jen, because he scammed my baby daddy's cousin, sister-in-law's nephew, blah, 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 for $1,500, and she want her money back, and he won't give the money back. And tell your husband to stop stealing. Tell your husband to also see you going about it the wrong way. How you mad? How are you mad? You can't come at me yelling, fussing, and cussing to think that will get you what you want. I'm gonna cuss you back out for one, and ignore you for two. Okay, so they're back and forth. Okay, she's cussing. He stole the money, the $1,500. He stole 30K from some disabled lady or whatever. You don't care. You're up here denying the truth and telling, girl, I'm not doing this. I don't care about your. She had printouts. When Evelyn put out some printouts, she's like, I don't care about your printouts. I don't need no proof from you. I don't care. He don't know them people. I'm not I'm not interested in nothing you're saying. Christian don't know that lady, okay? He is a day trader, okay? And that means you have good days and bad days. You can win money, you can lose money, and that's a part of trading, okay? And he don't know that lady, and I'm not doing this with you, girl. And so, girl, you can love that man, but he gonna make a fool of you, okay? He can bring you down, okay? Because he even day trade as a felon? Because he can, girl, I guess he can. Okay. So Jen said, yes, he can trade as a felon. Yes, yes, and can. Okay. So Evelyn, girl, you too smart for this. You too smart to be this dumb. You know what I'm saying? Brandy didn't say, oh, because it really was, it was Evelyn, Jackie, Jen, and Brandy. And Brandy didn't say, Jen, Jen. So, how do you feel about what she said, though? Like, how you feel about the conversation that Evelyn is saying about him scheming and scamming? Like, how do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Do you care about that information? Jen said, girl, I don't feel no kind of way. Okay, I'm not having this Christian conversation. I don't care how many ways you word the question, uh, um, Brandy, bitch, I don't care. Okay? I don't believe it. Leave me alone. Okay? And so I don't give a fuck, is what you said. Evelyn was like, girl, people are worried about you. Okay? They feel like when you post online on social media your fancy shit that's expensive, they feel like you using stolen money. Girl, I see. Not saying that Jen is in on the scam, child. Girl, Jen got up. I'm leaving. I don't have time for this shit. I'm not doing this bullshit. I ain't in no situation. Leave me be, bitch. And she walks away. And girl, Evelyn is yelling, your man's a thief. He's stealing. He's stealing. It's a Ponzi scheme. I was like, that's not how you gonna fix shit, okay? Oh, and Jen just said, girl, get a storyline, okay? Stop using me and my man for you. And she's leaving. And I like that Jackie said to Evelyn, so you love Jen, right? Yes, I do. And I love her enough to be honest with her. She said, I know that, but you gonna make her choose, she gonna choose Christian. And I'm like, Evelyn don't get her rash approach, don't work with all people. And Jackie was right. The way you were trying to browbeat her to listen to you, she not gonna listen. She gonna choose Christian. She gonna choose that man because you have her feeling like she had no option but to believe him. You're going so hard, she's not listening to you. You're not doing shit in the right way at the all. Okay. Well, I just want girl, she ain't gonna listen. Lastly, we see Christian is out of jail and Jack girl Jen picked them up and they're now in LA, they riding around. And girl, Evelyn was saying this and saying that and said you was stealing and you took $1,500 from her baby daddy's cousins, auntie, nieces, sister, brother-in-law, whatever, and owed them $1,500. When Christian said 1,500, that's low ball money. You know what I'm saying? That's based on how we live. That ain't no money. You know what I'm saying? Why would I steal 1,500 from somebody? You know what I'm saying? That's how we spend it on dinner. And I said, sir, he said, I would not ever risk my reputation for 1,500. I said, sir, if you scam 100 people out of 1,500 bucks each, that's 150K. So I get he trying to say, why would I scam one person for that little amount? You probably don't scam one person. And I'm not saying scam, I'm saying him making it seem as if only one person said I did this. I'm not, if the point is if you are doing that to more than just one person, That could be how you fund your life. I'm not saying it is. I'm just trying to point out the point of it's not about if you did one person, but if you did that to multiple people, that would add up. Okay. So they talking again about what Evelyn said or whatever. And when he said, because she said, Evelyn said, asked if you can be a traitor as a felon. He said, I could be president. I said, show could. Okay. So Jen, like, people keep poking me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they think I'm nice. And I'm not gonna keep, doormat or whatever. I'm gonna shut shit down. I don't have time for this shit. And he said, leave my wife alone. I said, oh my God. This season's gonna be crazy. Because Jen is stupid for dick. I don't know if Christian is an actual scammer. I don't know. I don't know that man. What I do know is, Jen, if you have not done your due diligence to check into what he does, how he makes money, if it's really legal. Okay, is he asking folks to spend money on Cash App? I don't know, but you should find out. What you don't want to happen is you be with him for a year or two, and then because of his scheming and scamming, you are then on the hook as his wife. If you spend any amount of money that he has schemed and scammed, you are then a part of it. Okay, so girl, just please look into what he does. Do not only believe what he says. If you have the proof of your own that he does not scheme and scam, then cool. If you have the proof that he does not scheme and scam, then fine. However, if you're only going by what he told you verbally, girl, look into it. Okay. Anyway, that's all. I hope y'all enjoyed. I did not mean for this to be so long. But I talk a lot, okay? Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will more than likely be live tonight at around 9 p.m. for a good old hot topics chat. Okay, some things going on in the world that we need to discuss. You know what I'm saying? And we did, again, there's always other content up. There's always other content on my channel. So go watch it. Go watch it. Okay, again, like, comment, share, subscribe. I gotta go. Bye.